السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. Hello everyone, this is Liquidity Club by Ahmed Shawi. Today is Sunday, the 3rd of November 2024. I'll be doing a weekly market review. Now, before going to the weekly review, I just want to draw your attention towards something that is important. On Tuesday, the 5th of November, we have the US elections, the presidential elections. So because of that certain event that's going to happen on Tuesday, next Tuesday, I'll try to show you the economic calendar, but if not so, you can go to any of the websites that shows the economic calendar and you can see that on Tuesday we have the US elections. The elections happens every 4 years, and today or next week is when the elections are going to be happening. So it is very, very important for you to just sit on the sidelines and just watch what's going to happen in the markets, because the highest amount of manipulation is going to occur in this week. Last week on Friday we had NFP, and going now to the next week we have the US elections and we have FOMC interest rate announcement. A lot of things that are happening next week. So you have to be expecting some carnage, some you have to be expecting some pain to be occurring in the markets. So without that being on the side, I'll be just going to the weekly review. Here I'm viewing the DXY and I'm viewing the weekly time frame chart. As you can see, price has just traded and took out this buy side liquidity right there. We didn't reach to the buy side liquidity, and we filled in this potential fair value gap. So this is now filled. Below that, we have this fair value gap, this BC that I'm looking at. Now, if you go to your seasonal tendencies for DXY, you would see that starting from November, we have a low start. It will start selling down lower, starting from November and to December. Now, from December, some of the markets, some of the seasonal tendencies, like 33 years pattern, would just fail to make a higher high and just push down lower until the end of the year. But the shorter term, like the 5 years, it will just run up higher from mid or nearly early December to the rest of the year, and it will make a higher high for the year. So this is also a potential to see price just retrace here during November, retrace to some kind of discount, and then from December to until the end of this year, we'll have price forming another high, and the vice versa, we can just push down lower. So, but mainly, primarily, what I'm talking about here is that the XY will be having some kind of retracement here. But the main question is, will price take out the buy side liquidity before having the retracement, or will it just retraces without taking out the buy side liquidity? Now, honestly, I would prefer, if I'm the market maker, I would prefer just keeping the buy side liquidity intact, making sure that all the retail traders are trusting it as a means of resistance, and will be driving price down lower into some kind of a discount. We're looking at from this low to this high, we'll have discount right there. Just reach into the discount, into this fair value gap, and then just jump up higher. Just make sure that we take out all of the buy side liquidity that is riding above here. So going to the daily time frame chart, a bit of a zoomed in version here. We have this bullish order block. You can see how price reacted to that bullish order block and then rallied up higher. A bit of a rally up higher here. We have this buy side liquidity right there, the fair value gaps right there, right there. So it's the same thing that I've mentioned on the weekly time frame chart. It's nothing different to it on the daily time frame chart. This is the same thing that I'm looking at. So we're overall looking for price to retrace a little bit down lower. So that's going to be pretty much it for DXY. Going to ES here, I'm viewing the continuous contract and I'm viewing the weekly time frame chart. As you can see, we started seeing price breaking down lower on ES, and I would say that this is the early fingerprints or footprints, if you'd say, that price is willing to start the sell program. Now, this doesn't mean that we started the sell program. I'm not trying to pick the top, that this level is the top, because especially next week, because next week we have a very important event that's happening. So we might actually price might actually run up higher. So I'm not gonna be saying that this is the high here and we have formed the top and price is just gonna be tapping or trading down lower, because it's possible and very possible that price will just run up higher here and take out the buy side liquidity and reach to the 6,000 price level. But why am I keeping this into consideration? Because we have here relative equal lows. The price is really close to it. It forms a low just close to it, but it doesn't take out the sell side liquidity. And we've closed below this fair value gap right there. So which makes it an inversion fair value gap. And looking at this discount wick, which is now a premium wick, because now we're trading below it. So anything above price, anything above current market price is considered premium. So we have this premium discount right there, premium wick, sorry. So premium wick, we'll look at the midpoint of that. It's pretty much just the low of the inverted fair value gap. So a lot of things that are overlapping here that is making me trusting the idea of we're trying to go down lower. And also one more thing, you can see how ES pretty much is trading at the all-time high. So this is the all-time high that price has traded to. But I'll show you shortly how price didn't take out or reach to the all-time high on NQ, which tells me for an instance that we have an SMT, and we also have an SMT on the daily time frame chart. As you can see, price has just been forming from the high here and a lower high, as you can see. So this is a lower high, and then we tanked down lower. We have a daily fair value gap. I've also included this volume imbalance. So when you're highlighting a fair value gap, you would want to highlight the volume imbalance if there was a volume imbalance right there. So you'll be including all of the area as your fair value gap. So we expect price to run up higher, do some damage here in this fair value gap, and by Tuesday we just tank down lower to this liquidity. I don't know how hard or how volatile the next week is going to be, so I'll just have to sit on the sidelines, just uh, take the trades that are really obvious to me, because I'm not a beginner trader. But otherwise, regardless, it's not about if you're a beginner or you're an experienced trader. You still have to be safe. Rule number one in these markets is just to protect your capital. Don't try to go out there just trying to push buttons um, recklessly without knowing the outcome that particular thing can result in, what kind of result, all right, or outcome. So always be careful, always double check what's happening. So like for instance, like last week I had a mistake where I outlined the opening range gap incorrectly. So always double check what you're highlighting, always double check what you're doing, and be careful, like in these markets you're competing against the smartest people on this planet. The smartest people in the world are doing this game or playing this game. So you would want to be really, really careful when you're trading, because you're trading with the smartest people in the world, and they're all trying to take your money. So are you going to let them take your money? It's just like a question for you, and you're going to answer it. We're not here. It's not something that it's like a get rich quick scheme here in these markets. It's not something that you can just throw a few $1,000s and expect a return and as a result of that. No, the market can just eat you alive. It can just absorb everything you have and more. It can turn you into a homeless if you don't trade it well. We've heard a lot of stories of people going bankrupt just because of trading, because they cannot handle risk, they cannot manage their emotions properly. So rule number one, just protect your capital. That's the main thing. That's the only thing that's going to keep you in the game. If you don't have the capital, you're not in the game. So we're looking for, like everything is screaming at me that we are likely to have lower prices. The sell side liquidity here is like, it's not something that would be sitting here for longer. you know so that's going to be pretty much it for ES. Going to NQ, here I'm viewing the weekly time frame chart and I'm viewing the continuous contract. You can see how price didn't take out the all-time high right there, so it's still intact, and we've started seeing some kind of lower prices. We closed below this Now it's considered a premium wick because we are below it. And now the midpoint of that, which is the consequent encroachment, I'm looking at that as a point where price might face some resistance when retracing up higher. And we'll be looking at this inside the liquidity right there. Going to the daily time frame chart to refine some targets, we have you can notice how we have an SMT on the weekly time frame chart where price pretty much failed to make a higher high here or to reach to the all-time high here on NQ. But also on the daily time frame chart here in the near-term swing that has been made on the daily time frame chart, you can see how NQ has formed a higher high and then broke down lower. So this makes this as a bearish breaker, and for the ES it makes this a mitigation block. So the one that's weaker to the downside is ES because it's pretty much not able to make a higher high. You see, it doesn't have the strength to push up higher above these highs, which means it's really weak to the downside. But when we're comparing it to the NQ had some balls to run up higher above this high, and then it just rejected down lower pretty much massively to the downside and took out the sell side liquidity right there. So this would be, to me, this is like showing to me that we might have started the sell program, but as I mentioned, I'm not trying to pick that this is the top. We're just, especially as I've mentioned, because next week is really crucial in terms of the events that are going to happen. And by the way, here I've selected the fair value gap wrong. I don't know if you've figured it already, but if not, I'm drawing your attention towards it so you can pay attention to everything that I'm drawing. I'm a human being. I do mistakes, so this is what I'm saying. Don't take anything I do here for granted. I can do mistakes, yeah, because I'm a human being at the end of the day. I'm not a robot. I'm not an AI. You see, like, hello, I'm a human being, all right? So, as I mentioned, we have an SMT here on the daily time frame chart, and on the weekly time frame chart, price didn't take out the all-time high, and we're likely going to start seeing price just push down lower. We have this inside liquidity, this inside liquidity here. Just below this inside liquidity, we have this busy but at unbalanced inside inefficiency. Favorite gap price can be targeting. You know that we have this low right there. So that's going to be pretty much it for NQ. Going to EURUSD, also known as the fiber. Here I'm viewing the weekly time frame chart. As you can see, because we're expecting price on the XY to trade down lower, I'm expecting EU to trade up higher. But above that, where we're trading right now, we have this favorite gap and this favorite gap. Now, what I want to mention is that the market structure is looking bearish, and you can see how we retraced that favorite gap, and we've seen a reaction from it, just retracing and closing here. We formed the long premium wick. I'm looking at the midpoint, which is the consequent encroachment of that, as means of if price wants to retrace, it would face some resistance and it would just break down lower towards the sell liquidity. Now, this doesn't mean that we're bearish, but the market structure is suggesting to me that we are expecting lower prices. So because we're expecting lower prices, especially this low right there, you see we rolled it up higher, took out this high, this week's high, filled some of that favorite gap, reached to this low, and we didn't take out the sell side liquidity right there. So last week's sell side liquidity is the first like low hanging fruit, all right, target. I'm not demanding this sell side liquidity to be met, although this is like what I'm looking at, but I'm just demanding this low right there. And just by having these low hanging fruit targets in your repertoire, you'll be able to make ends meet. You'll be able to make more than you can even imagine. Just with just thinking low hanging fruit. That's it. That's the first concept that my mentor has taught me. Low hanging fruit. That's it. Don't try to capture home runs. You just look for the low hanging fruits, something that is really easy to catch, like the bread and butter setup, things that are easy to catch, and the midpoint of that as means of a resistance right there. Going to the data from chart to refine it a little bit more, you can see how we traced bodies stopping right at the midpoint of that favorite gap, the consequent encroachment, and we have the midpoint here right there, and the price is retracing towards this favorite gap. Now if price next week trades and close below it, we might see it being treated as an inversion favori gap right there. That could show some resistance to it and then just push down lower to the downside. So this is going to be pretty much it for EURUSD, or also known as the fiber. Going to pound USD, also known as the cable. Here I'm viewing the weekly time frame chart. As you can see, cable is just being lethargic to the downside, traded to this favori gap deeply here. As you can see, we still have some of that gap that's still yet to be filled. And now, honestly, if price wants to run up higher here, we have this gap right there, this SIBI, sell side imbalance plus buy side inefficiency. Price might retrace too. And if we're going to refine targets below that favori gap, so something around here, we'll be looking at daily time frame chart. We have this buy side liquidity. We have this BD array right there. I'm not gonna be showing a lot of information about this, but there's a BD array right there between these two price levels, so price might react or reach back to it, and we might expect some kind of a reaction here. Above that, we have this favori gap, daily favori gap right there. Now you can also, I don't know if you've noticed already, but we have a low here and we have a lower low. What does this mean? This means that we have an SMT. EU formed a higher low, whereas pound USD formed a lower low. This means that we also have an SMT here. This could be the stepping stone of price just running up higher here to the favori gap. As I mentioned, everything is possible next week. So please be careful when you're trying to trade. You know, it's really not the week that you want to be risking your full risk parameters. Try to hold your risk, especially next week, and the following week you can just go back to trading normally, but especially next week, like Tuesday, specifically Tuesday, it is a very risky day to trade. All right, and I'm not saying this to limit you from the potential that you could do. No, this is just as an advice. You know, you can at the end of the day you can just trade it the on Tuesday if you'd like to, but you know, this is just an advice for people who are beginner traders. I'm likely going to trade maybe not on Tuesday, but later on. We have an FOMC, I think, on Wednesday. I'll be probably trading in the afternoon on Wednesday. So this doesn't limit me because I know what I'm looking at. I know what am I looking for, or how am I going to approach the market. Everything about it, I know it. So it's not something that is new to me. I'm not a beginner, so I can handle the markets. But if you know that you cannot handle the markets and it's likely going to be tricky for you to try to identify what the market is likely going to do, it's better for you better for you to just sit on the sidelines and come back next week, or by Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. So that's going to be pretty much it for this weekly review. I really hope you found this one insightful. Until I talk to you next time, be safe. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.